everybody, and welcome back to the Willy St. Willy channel once again. And I'm so glad you're here because you showed up just in time for Summerween. Woo! Yes, it's officially summer. You know what that means. People are going to be shooting fireworks and grilling weenies, maybe drinking a few brewskis down by the lake while they're at a summer camp hiding from the camp counselors. I don't know. It's your life. I don't know what you got planned. To be honest, I always thought I'd make a good camp counselor. You know, I would tell spooky ghost stories by the fire. I would host an archery event, and I would traumatize all the kids with my life stories and escapades while I'm 10 Coors deep. You know, just I feel like it would be a real core memory for all these kids. All because of me, Uncle Willy. But anyway, back on topic. We talk about a lot of spooky things in this channel, a lot of horror AUs particularly, and you know, there are always these sort of devious, twisted versions of children's media morphed and warped into something unrecognizable and horrific, and I thought I'd shake things up a little bit, you know? I thought I would maybe do a horror happy AU, you know? A whimsical, fun, alternate universe for joy and wonder. Oh yes, we getting whimsical up in here, okay? I'm sure you're all familiar with slasher movies and slasher icons. I'm sure some of your favorites might be Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th, or Mike Myers from Halloween, or maybe even, you know, Art the Clown for the more new age horror fans. I don't know, but we all know about slasher villains and icons. They need no introduction. Yes, this AU does something different. Instead of shivering my timbers, it bothers to try and warm the heart of this old curmudgeon, and it takes a horrific slasher icon and turns them into a wholesome man that we can all aspire to be like. And of course, I'm talking about Camp Counselor Jason by Junk Mix Art over on Twitter. I found this comic because of Cougar McDowell voice acting YouTube channel. It just kind of came up on my For You page right in time for Summerween, and I'm like, you know what, I'll check it out. And honestly, I really dig it. I'm going to leave a link to all their stuff in the description below, but if you want to see a fully voice-acted comic for several different characters over this Camp Counselor series, by all means, go and watch Cougar McDowell's channel. I don't really know much about the guy. I just know that he does voice acting stuff, but I had a real fun time with it, and I wanted to go over it with you today and have my own little spin on it. Allow me to set the mood for everyone. Essentially, in this universe is basically just a wholesome twist in all the origin stories of any slasher you can think of, because obviously, as the title suggests, Jason Voorhees, the main antagonist of the Friday the 13th series, instead of being this crazed, deadite, zombified slasher, he's instead this wholesome camp counselor who really cares for kids and seeks to make the world and Camp Crystal Lake a better place just by doing the right thing. Basically, everyone in this comic is just a wholesome version of themselves in canon, except for maybe like Jason's mom, because like Mrs. Voorhees is still kind of a psycho. She's just really bad at killing people, so she's just unsuccessful at it. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. So Jason is still at his core essentially the same character. He's a mute, a big hulking brute. He wears a mask, but he may not really be a deadite or a zombie in the way that he originally is, because it seems to me that he essentially survived his initial drowning at Camp Crystal Lake in the 50s and decided to become a camp counselor himself when he grew up. And it's funny and cute because he's really good at it. He's just very good at it. He's very good with the kids. All the kids love him. Like, even makes callbacks to kills that Jason does in the movies, like when he's hurling the kids around a sleeping bag, when he's actually just having a fun time with them, or how for some reason he has a real, you know, fixation on premarital sex. You know, any sort of hanky-panky going on around him is a big no-no. Like, these two counselors be like, hey, come on, toots, let's just fool around a bit, and then Jason just shows up anyway. Like, somehow he finds them. He knows. He has the tingle, the sex tingle for wherever teenagers may roam. So Jason in this universe is still at his core a good person and has not murdered or killed anybody. He basically kind of forgets and forgives the bullies who nearly killed him back in the day by making him drown the lake when he couldn't swim. And they even show up with their kids to Camp Crystal Lake and not realize that Jason is like this hulking monster camp counselor there now, or like intimidated by him. And like I said, Jason Voorhees' mom is still like a psycho, a complete and utter psycho, but Jason is almost as if this calming force for her, making sure she doesn't go overboard and actually kill anyone, because she tries. Oh, does she try? She tries to like shoot bullies with an arrow, tries to use traps like she's Wile E. Coyote to kill people. But luckily, she's just very bad at it, so this comic can still maintain its wholesome status quo nature. And the funniest thing I like about this comic is all of the callbacks to actual existing horror media, like when Jason is wearing his bag sack over his head and the overalls and walking through town, people are obviously intimidated by him. And the reason is for that is because he looks like the guy from the Town That Dreaded Sundown poster. And this shows how he actually got the job as a camp counselor at Crystal Lake. And of all people, Tommy Jarvis actually helped him get a new mask and look so he can, look the part for being a camp counselor, so he have an easier time getting the job. He tries on different masks, like the clown mask or the Michael Myers mask, but he basically just settles on the hockey mask and his current look. And honestly, it's kind of funny to me because Part 6, Friday the 13th Part 6 is my favorite Friday the 13th movie, and Tommy Jarvis is my favorite Friday the 13th protagonist, who I really wish they didn't fumble the bag and continue to have him as a protagonist in other movies. But they didn't do that. That's not what happened, but whatever. And the thing with Pamela Voorhees is that she's still very overprotective of Jason, and she's trying to shut the camp down for his own safety because, she's a overbearing mother, and that's why she's trying to kill these all random teenagers. But eventually she gives up and decides that, you know what, I've raised Jason too well. He's too much of a nice guy, so he's going to keep inadvertently foiling my murder plans. But one thing I do think is weird about the comic is I pretty much expect this with any sort of art or artist, is that Jason, I understand, is this big hulking gentle giant mute, but they keep trying to thirst trap Jason. It's just really weird. They just keep, every other panel, it'd be like a girl would be like, oh hey Jason. And I was like, dude, can we stop this? Can I enjoy my wholesome media without you trying to fucking thirst trap Jason, please? Something I did forget to mention about the comic is that Jason is most definitely still this super powered being, because he just has feats he can effortlessly manage throughout the comic, like just breathing underwater for extended periods while he's cleaning up what looks like a body in a body bag, but it's just trash he's plucking up from the bottom of the lake, or how he accidentally murders these wanted criminals that wander into Crystal Lake and harm some of the campers and camp counselors. He accidentally kills them. He'll open the door super fast and just pulverize their ass, or he'll try to kill them and they trip and fall into one of Pamela Voorhees' traps, and it's just so, oh my god, it's so cute and wholesome. I think I'm having too much fun with this. I'm used to talking about horrific things in this channel. Talking about something that's so good-natured and innocent I'm not used to this. But enough of the wholesome camp counselor Jason stuff. Yes, he's doing such a good job being a camp counselor, but let's start introducing some more slasher characters, okay? Like the next one, we have Carrie from Carrie. And the most wild thing is, so basically Carrie runs in the middle of the woods and she's being chased by bullies, obviously. That's like half of her character trait, is being bullied. And then she runs into camp counselor Jason, and the bullies are frightened of him and run off, even though they all look like they're dressed as campers there, so they shouldn't know who he is. But I digress. So Carrie and Jason have a bonding moment, and honestly, this is where I kind of had a little bit of that's kind of strange, is that they try to have almost kind of like a budding romance between Carrie and Jason, almost in a way. Literally they meet, and then the next scene is Carrie and Jason going to prom. And I'm not sure on their ages. Maybe they're similar age. I don't think so. I think Jason is way older than Carrie is. But if you put that aside, if you just pretend canon-wise they're the same age or whatever, honestly, it is kind of sweet, because then Jason gets all dolled up and goes to her house, and then Carrie's insane fucking mother, who is a religious nut, is locking her in the closet, and then Pamela Voorhees is there with Jason, and Jason ends up having to rescue Carrie, and it's a very sweet moment. She's like, oh my god, Jason, you're here! And then Pamela just straight up murders Carrie's mom. Pamela just straight up murders Carrie's mom. And honestly, the justice is felt, because honestly, screw Carrie's mom. Carrie's mom is a crazy bitch. Let's just, all my homies hate Carrie's mom. Come on, girl. Come on now. So anyway, the night of prom happens, and Carrie and Jason are having a blast, and they're just kind of enjoying each other's company. And then, just like in the movie, Carrie wins prom queen, and the bullies are there to drop pig's blood on her because they are evil little shits. So then the fateful event happens. The pig's blood gets dropped on Carrie, and it's the iconic shot of her covered in blood, looking horrified as everyone's laughing at her. But this time, Jason, her boo thing, her Pookie Bear, is there to make sure she doesn't have a complete and total mental break, and a fire gets started because of the bucket of pig's blood, and instead of killing everyone at the prom, Carrie uses her psychic powers to force open the door and window so everyone can get out. And it's a very sweet, wholesome moment. It's a moment of growth that despite everyone bullying you and laughing at you, you still make the right decision in the end and you save them. Which, I mean, honestly, pretty good. Mad respect, Carrie. Mad respect. I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have done that. I'd be like, oh no, the fire. Can't open the window. God, I wish I had psychic powers. And I'm just sitting there like, oh look, I got a window open. Let me crawl out. Oh, it closed behind me. Oh my God, that's crazy. As I'm walking away, covered in blood, everyone's in the window like, ah! Like everyone's like pounding it, like, please, please. I'm like, oh, gee whiz. Cheese and crackers, what can I do? And then they're like burning to death. Ah! Yeah. So yes, Carrie saves the day, and then she ends with the line when there's some random unnamed friend character that is like, oh my God, Carrie, I tried to stop it, are you okay? And then Carrie's like, oh, that's all right. Ava, I may be weird, but at least I'm not alone. Oh! Now we get to what I think is the penultimate moment of this comic panel, because they host their own little Summerween at Camp Crystal Lake, and in this universe, the canon is that Jason made Summerween. He invented it because the kids couldn't celebrate Halloween with Jason, so he made it up. So they're all partying and playing dress up, and Laurie Strode, of all people, is there at Camp Crystal Lake, my queen, Laurie Strode. And then as they're all talking and Laurie meets Jason, getting along with him, like, oh, you should meet my brother Michael. And Dr. Loomis shows up and shoots Jason in the arm because he thinks he's Michael Myers. And he's like, get away from him. He's like, go, get away from him. Evil never rests. Like, it's almost like he's almost like the antagonist in a way in this scenario, because after he shoots Jason in the arm, the real Michael shows up and like kind of knocks him out for a second, and then when he comes to, he like zooms off like he's a raccoon who's been caught rummaging through the dumpster. Oh, I forgot the most important part. Yeah, besides Michael Myers and Laurie Strode being perfectly fine, loving brothers and sisters in this universe, Michael's also a mechanic, because he's wearing the mechanic overalls. So Jason's a camp counselor, Michael's a mechanic. What's next? Freddy Krueger's a damn, like a dream therapist or something, and like Pennywise is an actual circus clown. Like, how far are we going into this, okay? So when Dr. Loomis shot Jason in the arm, it actually went through him and hit a power box and, oh, cut off the power for the party. But don't worry, because Michael's a mechanic, so he can fix it. And he actually stabs into the box with his damn butcher knife and somehow managed to fix it. And they carve watermelon, jack-o'-lanterns, and a happy Summerween sign with his butcher's knife, with his kitchen knife. And it's so cute. Oh. I do like this though, actually. I'm being a hater. I actually do like this. Oh, and I just love the little references they hide throughout the comic panels. Like, obviously, like Tommy Jarvis is wearing the costume that Michael wore when he killed his sister, his older sister in the original movie. And Michael has the thorn tattoo on his forearm, like on his wrist, which is like in the Thorn trilogy. The carvings that they made together are the Halloween masks from Halloween 3, the witch and the pumpkin and all that, and it's just little things like that. It's just so fun. This comic this is too fun for it's so good. Why is it this wholesome and fun? I hate you. I hate you. I hate all of this. Another cutesy factor is the dynamic of the characters interacting with each other, like how Michael is super overprotective of Laurie, where any guy that talks to her, he's like, just like tries to intimidate them, and even Jason's kind of one of them, even though I thought him and Carrie were kind of a thing. Maybe I have a little love triangle going on with Jason and Laurie and Carrie, like, the drama. I thought that was funny where Michael basically harasses Jason, and there's a point where Jason runs away and hides in the closet, and he barges in, finding Jason hiding, just like the scene in Halloween where Mike is trying to kill Laurie hiding in the closet. Just so many slasher references I nerd out over, and I'm just like, oh, this is so cute. Oh my gosh. One of the last funny dynamics I want to note is that both of the characters of Jason and Michael are more willing to be kind of like vigilantes in a way, like doing the right thing instead of just being killers. But Michael is definitely more open to just straight up murking people than Jason is. Jason has never killed anyone in the entire comic series. Michael definitely has. He killed an old man that was putting in razor blades and apples for kids, and yeah, I think it's funny how like Michael still kind of like has that little, he's a good guy, but he has that little bit of dark side in him. He's that kind of thing they're doing with his character. I thought it was kind of funny. The last slasher character I wanted to introduce into this comic series I want to talk about was Ghostface, because Ghostface does show up near the end of it, and I didn't go over every single panel, but I just want to talk about the dynamic of Ghostface and what they did with his character, because it's the character of Billy, like from the Scream movies, but he's a young high school kid who is trying to be an aspiring director. Like, he's basically trying to film his own slasher movie, and he's like basically telling his actress he has, he just like, you have to look sexy and hot, and yeah, you have to get murdered, and you can't even do that right because you suck as an actress. Like, it's just, I don't know, I thought that was kind of funny, because I'm just imagining Skeet Ulrich behind the mask, but he's more like, but he's not like a serial killer, he's like just an innocent high schooler being like, God, I'm trying to make the perfect horror movie, you keep messing it up. However, the actress he's using gets kind of fed up, and his fan, made student film project Stab, which is, the name of the in-universe film franchise that the Woodsboro murders are based off of. Basically, the actress gives up, and Billy is just left sulking in his own messes, because he's like, man, I just can't make my movie. People just don't understand my genius. But then the gang finds him. It's Jason and Tommy and this, random girl character that was friends with Jason when they were growing up. I forgot to mention that, yeah. Jason is friends with this random girl cop character who got injured while on the line of duty and has to, be paid on leave, and is hanging out with Jason at Camp Crystal Lake. Just a random, I think, comic original character that I just thought was kind of weird, because there's like a whole segment devoted to just her, like for a couple minutes when I was watching the voice acting dub over this, and I was like, who is this? This isn't what I want to see, but whatever. It's a fine enough character. I just thought it was kind of funny. I'm like, yeah, and Jason's friends with a cop lady. But anyway, Ghostface sneaks up on the gang and goes, "What's up?" We gotta bring that back, by the way. I miss people used to do that. It was obnoxious as hell. But he startles the gang and they beat the hell out of him, and he's like, wait. I like you, Jason. You're gonna be the perfect star for my movie. He wants Jason to be a slasher villain for him. Anyway, this whole sequence is frankly kind of on the nose. I feel like they tried to like hurry up and make as many references as they could, because Ghostface, or Billy, reveals that he is an aspiring film student trying to get accepted into Windsor College, and this film scholarship is going to get him in with this Stab movie. And by the way, Windsor College is the college that was in Scream 2, if you didn't know that. I'm assuming you did. And he just straight up asked Jason, he's like, what's your favorite scary movie? And I'm like, oh my God. Like, I had fun with this comic, but I feel like they're really rushing the Ghostface cameo for this comic, so it just felt kind of like they're adding too much at once. I feel like it was like, they're doing too much right now, okay? I feel like they had more time for the build-up with Michael Myers and Jason and Carrie and all that. I thought it was kind of funny. Jason reluctantly agrees, partly due to guilt because Ghostface got his ass beat, and then they start trying to film, but things don't really go according to plan. So it's revealed that, Ghostface is a very difficult director to work with, and all of his other employees quit. So as they're trying to film the movie, Jason's trying on Ghostface robes, and Billy is going on this melodramatic rant about how he is the embodiment of horror, like a ghost screaming into the camera. And then they basically don't really take him seriously, as he's being frankly kind of a dick and trying to direct Jason and everyone around and make his shoot work. And after a while, they kind of get fed up, and Ghostface has to basically just give up filming, because he's like, oh, whatever, you people just don't understand my vision. And then he goes off and sulks, and everyone feels pretty bad, so they have to try to make up for it somehow as he's sulking. And I do think it's funny how they just keep making weird little references to Scream, like how, Billy's like, oh man, if I can't get into Windsor College, I guess I can be a telemarketer with my voice thing or something. I'm like, okay, clearly that's a reference to his voice changer. I'm like, okay, cute, okay, funny. So Tommy finds Ghostface sulking, and he agrees that, hey man, we forgive you for being a jerk. We can go finish making your movie. Make your mama proud. Because Jason finds like a picture, like a Polaroid of Billy Loomis and his mother. And it's like everything about this comic is so wholesome. I want to strangle it. But it is a very fun time. And oh yeah, I forgot the cop lady character's name is Jane. I forgot to drop that. But she's irrelevant. It doesn't really matter. I just, wanted to actually tell you guys her actual name. But so as they go off into the sunset to film Stab, Billy reveals his real name to be Billy Loomis, and he is excited to make his student film and possibly even get his own franchise out of it, as any Ghostface killer can only dream of. And man, this just feels weird, being the whole wholesome. Not a bad thing happened this entire video, not a single bad thing. And honestly, it feels kind of weird. I don't know how to feel. new feeling for me. But there you have it, everyone. That is Camp Counselor Jason. I just wanted to yap about the comic a bit because I think it's a really fun, wholesome time. And usually I don't really talk about wholesome or fun things like this on this channel. Usually it's all horror related or mystery or vile, evil things of some sort. But I do think it's funny how if there is just any sort of wholesome or family-friendly fun media out there, someone is going to make the effort to turn that thing into a twisted, dark version of itself and horrify or traumatize people with it. And if there's a horrific and vile series of any sort, someone out there is going to try to make the effort to make it wholesome and fun and whimsical. And honestly, it's just a yin and yang. It's perfectly balanced as all things should be, you know. It's just it's the way the world works. And honestly, it's kind of a beautiful thing, especially with the artwork of this comic and the voice acting from Cougar McDowell and all the other voice actors he featured on his channel. This is a very fun thing, and I just wanted to yap about it, get some eyes on it. It's been out for years now, but it's just one of those things where I just stumbled upon it and just wanted to have an excuse to talk about it. So, you know, go check it out for yourself. I'm kind of just giving you my synopsis of it in my opinion. So, you know, what am I good for, right? I feel like the next kind of comic thing I pick out to talk about, I might just do an actual, like, dramatic reading of it and do my own voice lines over it because, I mean, you know, I'm pretty good at that most of the time. And I thought about wearing my ghost face mask, like in the back there, or like one of the other ones I have, but to be honest, that just wouldn't work in practice because then I would sound like the whole time through the audio, so I just decided against that. Sorry. But thank you guys as always for watching and sticking with me to the end. Your support always means the world, and just in case I don't see you, stay safe and have a good one. Goodbye. Most people don't watch to the end of this video like this, so I take it as my chance to yap a little bit. But yeah, real fun, wholesome comic. Maybe if this video does well, maybe I'll talk about another one. You know, there's a couple more I found. I might pick one of them to talk about or do a reading of. Please don't do it. Click another video, please. If you're still watching this, hearing me lay yap, please just click another video. So yeah.